You know, when I look at this show, I think about Slammiversary. We were not sure they were going to produce a great show. They had some build, some good things, but it probably was going to flop on its face. And we were completely surprised that Slammiversary was way better than we expected. Now we're coming to Destination X. And I see the same thing that happened in Slammiversary's Impact beforehand. There was not much going on. A lot of stuff was ended. We really didn't feel very interested in it. And then we got Slammiversary, which shocked the hell out of us for most of the part. Not all of it, but most of it. So now, I don't know exactly how to feel about this show because I'm not sure. This could still be an incredible show for Destination X, even though it is on Impact. I just don't know. But let's get into this. First thing I'm going to talk about, just to get rid of it. Guido and Joseph Park versus Congo Kong. I put them in my face for a reason. I put them in my face for a reason because I don't really care. And now they kind of make it even more interesting not to care. Look, Congo Kong going against Joseph Park and Guido was not that funny. In fact, if they really felt this was important, why not leave it for Slammiversary? Not Slammiversary. You see, I'm thinking more about Slammiversary than Destination X. You should be leaving this for Destination X. Some type of stipulation that if he wins against Congo Kong, that he, and this is Guido, could ask for Laura Van Ness's hand in marriage. That she would marry him on the spot. Now that could have been something interesting. A little risk with reward. Much more important than just a deportation for Guido. But what do we get? We got a match where Congo Kong wins. He starts beating up on Guido. And then someone that made no freaking sense, the fixer, Tyrus, comes out and faces. Face to face. Why? Why did Tyrus come out? He wasn't mentioned before. At all. Now, of course, you could say what happened in that segment before. Maybe Joseph Park went to get him and asked for his help. You could say that, but they didn't show it through the night. Then it would make some sense when he went to look for somebody. But here, it made no sense. Unless I missed it, I had to get up and go to the bathroom once during this show. At least once. So if it was there when I went to the bathroom, then I'm wrong. But I didn't see it. So when it comes down to it, this made no freaking sense. I didn't care about it. So, of course, they're still going to go something with it. We know there's going to still be something going into Destination X. But what? Next, we have Sienna, who opens the show, saying she wants to know who her opponent is. We got Karen Jarrett coming out. And then we got the woman that we expected to come out. And that is Gail Kim. This is the thing that gets me the most out of that entire segment. Not the beat down or to try to beat down and then the running around. That was not it. Not even Karen Jarrett's segment of talking. I'm not going to lie. I was looking at the body. I'm not being sexist. I'm just saying she's wearing a sexy dress. She's a well-built woman. You do the math. I'm single. I'm lonely. What do you expect? Anyway. Excuse me. When it comes down to it is hearing Gail Kim say, I'm going to win this championship, this knockout championship, one more time and I'm going to retire with it. Here's the thing. If Gail Kim wins, and there's a good chance she will sponsor the knockout division. She will sponsor the knockouts title, which is supposed to be the GFW women's title. So the question's going to be, if Gail Kim is going to be the next champion after Destination X, that means they're deciding finally to do something about these titles. That means they're going to probably wait until next year when she fully retires and give her some type of special send-off, and she's going to have the title around her waist, and then they're going to make the GFW women's title the knockouts title. And they may just get rid of the knockouts moniker. Because if they really want to change things, that might be the only way to do it. And the only way to do that, to change the name of the women in Impact, to change the title of the women in Impact, they need to have the first champion of the women of Impact come in, retire in January, and then show the new GFW women's title, not the GFW Knockouts title. Because if you really want to change the company, you got to go there. Now, a lot of people are not going to be happy about it, but what do you want? You want to change, you got to do it. Now, tag match. Crash versus AAA and Wrestling Noah. Now, what were these guys' name? You got the Junior and, what is it? The Kid and Junior Connection, as I call them. The Garza Jr. and the Dorado Kid. I call them Kid and Junior Connection. Then you got the other guys. I can't remember the name. Phantasmo, I believe one of them is. And the other guy is Marja Fuji. I believe that's their names. I'm bad with names if I don't see them, don't get promo seconds from them, don't get views from them. I don't get them. I don't see them. I don't remember them clearly. And we got a match. And I don't remember who won. And here's the problem. I should remember who won because this is supposed to be special. Look, I said this before. You're going to do, and this is GFW, the Dutch Mantel to whoever is in charge, even Jeff Jarrett. I don't care. You decided that you want to try and pull a little bit of a National Wrestling Alliance. Work with Wrestling Noah. Work with AAA. Work with Crash. Give them a little bit of exposure along with your company. Okay. I had no major problems as long as you budgeted your time properly with their people. To show segments with their people. To give their companies promos. To give their companies vid packages in a proper context. Twice a month, I said. Do once in the beginning of the month. And once at the end of the month. Let them see Wrestling Noah. Let them see AAA and Crash. Give them a wrestling match, one of them, once a month. Or twice a month. Twice a month would be good. A short segment or a short match. It could be either one. Let us see what's going on in Pro Wrestling Noah. Let us see about that talent. Then let us see about Crash. Let us see about that talent. Then, the next part of the month, you actually have a match with either Wrestling Noah or AAA. AAA with Crash or Crash with Wrestling Noah. Budget it properly. Sponsor these people. If you're going to show them, if they're not actual Impact wrestlers or GFW wrestlers, why are you not doing it properly? And this is garbage. It doesn't help them. And it doesn't help Impact. I just can't stand it anymore. I can't. I just say it. Alright. There's a lot of stuff I could talk about, like OVE. I could talk about them. I'm not going to. Because I'm going to wait until next week. It's better that way. When it comes to the segment for, what was it? They did a lot with LAX. And I'm getting this over. I really don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about LAX versus the VOW. You know why? Because it really didn't mean anything. What did we really get with LAX? A match. A street fight. Wasn't totally bad. But here's the problem. We see that LAX wins. We see that we have Conan talk. Viva la raza. Why? Why can't I hear the rest of them? Why can't I hear Homicide? Why can't I hear the others? Why can't I hear Delamonte? Why can't I hear the ones that's going to be staying there if they continue having a contract with Impact Wrestling and it's all about Conan? I don't know who the hell these people are. They're holding up titles doing absolutely nothing. I don't even remember their names. You know why? Because they don't talk. I had to get that off my chest. I'm sorry. And I got a fat chest because I'm a fat old man. Actually, I'm kind of skinny. But anyway, we now have the segment of Jeff Jarrett talking about what's going on with Bobby Lashley. Now, there was a segment last week about it. I really didn't talk about it much. I'm not actually feeling well, so I really forgot all about it. But I did remember it, but I just really didn't want to talk about it because I wasn't feeling well. But now that I'm feeling a bit better, I'm thinking about it in this respect. What are they trying to do here with Bobby Lashley? Are they trying to say, well, Bobby is probably going to go over to Bellator again? Bobby is going to focus only on Impact Wrestling, or Bobby is going to do them both, and he's got to be a great guy. Why are you going there? Let me get this straight. You go to the training area where the most of the MMA fighters in Bellator and maybe other promotions of mixed martial arts go. You have those guys talk. Mostly, Ken, let's be honest, it was mostly scripted. An idea for them to focus on certain things that Impact really wants them to talk about. So you got this, but what does it actually accomplish? We know that Bobby is going to be not just going to be wrestling, he's going to go to Bellator again. He's going to have a match eventually with somebody. I heard that he's eventually going to have a match. The question's going to be, why do this? What angle are you gaining from this? Are you trying to convince the people that he must stay with GFW? He must. So we have to convince him and convince the public that GFW is the true place for Bobby Lashley. It sounds like they're trying to go there, but to be honest, I don't see it. Because it's just not strong enough. You know why? Because the show is still so discombobulated, it's hard to tell if Bobby Lashley is really cared about. Because of the way he's being treated. I mean, I know this is part of the storyline, but, you know, it's hard to tell. Now, the Super X Cup. We got, who was it? ACH versus Shinomori? I'm pronouncing the guy's name wrong. As I said before, I would care more if these guys were allowed to talk a week ahead of time. That the Super X Cup was more sponsored. As it stands, they had a good match. Shimon Mori, if I'm pronouncing the guy's name, I'm sorry, I'm just bad with names until I know them very well. I'm just bad with them. But the Wrestling Noah wrestler wins. And now he's going to go after Desmond Xavier. I think I got his name right, Desmond. But here's the thing, and this is important to care about. What are you exactly getting in Destination X with the cup? We really didn't sponsor Noah very well. We really didn't sponsor Triple A very well. And we definitely didn't sponsor Impact very well. I mean, they did it all within the same show. That was the problem. They're not really promoting the wrestlers or the promotions ahead of time. And because they're not promoting them, giving them small impact, it could be less than a minute long. You can budget the time of your show better, even with that in there. And we're not getting it. And it's such a, I just feel like they could have done this way better. They could have done the promotion at least a week or two ahead of time for each match. And easily would have made it more important. But here, I just don't care. And I should care because I want to care. This is like the Super J Cup when it comes to New Japan Pro Wrestling. And I have seen a couple of matches from the Super J Cup. And I cared about it because essentially they make it important. Here it isn't. And that's what's pissing me off. And let's see. Am I forgetting anything else? The Lashley and Seidel interview with Dutch Mantel. Look. The one thing I noticed that I didn't like was this segment. The rest of the show was very choppy or it pissed me off, but I actually liked this segment. You know why? Because when it came down to it, Lashley and Matt did make it pretty good. Particularly at the very end when Lashley just grabbed him around the neck and started trying to throw him around like a damn rag doll. When it comes down to it, you got two guys that are from two different divisions. Now going to face one another. And one who's the bigger guy is pretty much saying, you're not in my class. No one is in my class. You're in a division that's nothing to me. And the other one is saying, I've always broken molds. This is the way I am. It's always been how I am. It's always how it is. Deal with it. And you could say at the end of that conversation, that little struggle actually made it more real. It actually did. When it comes down to it, I thought this was a better segment than you would find on Raw or SmackDown. And of course, the production wasn't very good. Sound quality was semi-good. as well. But as Paul Heyman always said, accentuate the positives, hide the negatives. You can't compete with WWE when it comes to production. So make sure these guys can actually do the job properly. And I have to say, with their personalities the way they are, and particularly when it comes to Matt Seidel's personality, not very good. He's not very good talking. But it was still effective enough that it was important. And I enjoyed it. I felt it was real. And that is the most important thing. If you can make it real enough to sell it, now you got something that's going into next week. Now, finally, 6-man tag. Wasn't happy to see this. It wasn't bad. Was it the right people to win? Yes. The heels winning does make it more important. But here's the problem. We always get that from TNA. Remember, TNA notoriously cares more about his heels than his faces, so they always win. In WWE, it's always their faces who win and not the heels. So in this case, it's the flip. You do want to care about the faces because the heels always seem to get the upper hand over the heels. That's in WWE. Here, the heels actually kill the faces, so now you really do care about them. But we see it so much, so often, it loses its luster. Now, it doesn't mean it won't still work when it comes to Destination X. The question is, will the show even work at all? It's on ordinary television. It's not a pay-per-view. I don't know why they tried to just make this, unless it is a pay-per-view, then I'm wrong. Tell me below if this is an actual pay-per-view, because as far as I know, it's just a regular live show. If it was a pay-per-view and it's good, that's great. If it's good as a regular show, doesn't really mean much. But this is just my point of view. So I hope you enjoyed the Zane's view. Please give me a comment below. Tell me how you feel about this situation when it comes to Matt Seidel and Bobby Lashley. Are you really hyped for it? In actuality, I am actually hyped for this match. This is one of the matches I'm actually hyped for. Because it's not just a contrasting styles. It's the attitude. You got one that really believes he's the best. And it doesn't matter what size or what class you're in. And then you got the other guy who's just wishing to be the best. And probably isn't. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace!